As part of What She Said's ongoing partnership with New Roots Herbal, today we're taking a closer look at mushrooms, not as psychedelics or even as a side dish, but rather as a way to improve our health with supplements. Dr. Patricia Wu is a naturopathic doctor practicing in South Delta, BC, who focuses on brain health and happy aging. She has a special interest in heart disease, metabolic disease, and dementia Alzheimer's prevention. In the clinic, Dr. Patricia enjoys educating and empowering patients to take charge of their health and life. She wants patients to feel confident in their own body's healing abilities and find healthy and sustainable habits that will improve their quality of life. She joins me today to discuss the power of mushrooms. Welcome to the show, Patricia.
Hello, how are you?
We are hearing so much about mushrooms anymore. It seems to be in every magazine article. I'm seeing it on social media. People are talking about it, drinking it in their coffee. Why are we hearing so much about it?
So medicinal mushrooms have been used traditionally for a really long time for anything that comes from anti-cancer or cancer prevention, and just supporting stress and resilience. And now we're seeing it more in shelves just because, like with all health foods, there are trends. And so there are new innovative ways for you to be able to extract the medicinal components in medicinal mushrooms that can now be available and found on shelves. And there's easier ways to consume it rather than trying to eat a bunch of mushrooms at once.
There are countless varieties of mushrooms out there. What are the ones that we're focusing on that really help our health?
So we're looking at the ones that contain something called polysaccharides, specifically beta-D-glucans. And so those ones are the ones that actually stimulate immune properties or immune cell activity within your body. And these are the ones that are really, especially with the last 2 years, we're looking at something that will help support whole health without having lots of side effects.
And do we look to mushrooms to improve brain health, or is it our body, or is it sort of everything?
It's pretty much everything. There are certain mushrooms that can help with brain health. Some that I've studied, so reishi, for example, has been studied as a adjuvant therapy for chemotherapy side effects. And so it actually improves your quality of life when you're taking it on the side or in conjunction with chemotherapy treatment. And then there's ones that do help with brain health, like lion's mane, which I love to use in clinic. But everything they all have a general application. And the most popular ones that you are seeing on the shelves are more for immune support.
Excellent. So, I mean, it's not as easy as going out to the grocery store then and buying mushrooms and frying them up at home. There's a certain way to extract what I suppose the benefits from them. And that requires a particular process, right?
Yes. So there are so many different things that you can, or formulations and preparations that you can find on the shelves. Traditionally, people would have dried slices and they'd steep it in hot water for 6 to 8 hours. And then after that, then you're able to drink it as a soup or a stew. But now what we can do is actually use a hot water extraction process, and you can actually measure out the percentage of polysaccharides or the percentage of even beta-D-glucans, which are the medicinal component that we're looking for. And then you can dehydrate them, and they get encapsulated, so they're easier to consume. And that way you're actually taking a therapeutic dose of them. But then when we're looking at different varieties on the shelves, we've got the dried slices, we've got hot water extract, which is again the best one. There are some products that claim to be dual extract products, and that would mean that it's going through a hot water extraction and then a alcohol extraction. So the reason why we need a hot water extraction is because the polysaccharides are bound in this tight network called chitin. And so chitin, think of it like a popcorn kernel where the outside is really hard. So you have to actually dissolve the popcorn kernel to actually get to the fleshy, juicy inside, which is the medicinal component that we're going for. And with the hot water extraction, that's exactly what it does. With alcohol extracts, they're looking for something called phenols inside the mushrooms. And so those are less immunostimulating. So if you're looking for something on the shelf, you're looking for a hot water extract specifically because you're looking for the polysaccharide content and the bioavailable polysaccharide content. If you're getting like a ground whole mushroom powder, that's really just a waste of money and a bunch of expensive fiber because the chitin is still there. So you really need to look at products that actually have the hot water extract. And then they might actually say the percentage of polysaccharides that the product contains.
So I like that you've brought that up because as with all trends, people jump onto the trend, the market is flooded, and then the consumer is confused. What do you pick? How do you pick? So let's walk through that process then. As soon as we walk in the natural health product store, what are we looking for? What types are we looking for? And what are we looking for on the bottle?
So when you're going through the health food store, some people might still have dried slices, and that's completely fine for you to purchase as long as you're actually steeping them in hot water for 6 to 8 hours. The only thing is it's a lot harder for you to consume that much amount of liquid as it is by getting just a capsulized product that has already been dehydrated for you. So you really want to aim for looking at a hot water extract product. There is one exception though. There are something called reishi spores, which have been studied. And so what they are they're the mature cells of reishi mushroom, which is probably called the king of mushrooms right now because they're the most long studied for longevity and stress and resilience and all things health related. And so these reishi spores are all the mature spores of the reishi mushroom that are already bioavailable. So if you're getting like an encapsulated or some sort of reishi spore product, then you don't need a hot water extract because they have already, or they don't come with the chitin that's protecting the spores.
We're heading into obviously high virus season. We've got COVID, we've got flu, we've got common cold, pneumonia, you name it, it is out there ready to jump all over us. Are there certain mushrooms we could be looking at right now to help boost our immunity?
So again, king of mushrooms. So we're looking at reishi. There's really, that's probably my top choice to go for. Also because it is so much more bioavailable. The other one that I really do love is called cordyceps. But that one is a lot harder to find and it's a lot harder to produce. So reishi, otherwise in Latin called Ganoderma lucidum, is probably the one that we'd go for.
And I'm hearing a lot about lion's mane in terms of protecting brain health. Is this something that you recommend people take? Is this something we should be looking at daily? Is it just you take it once in a while? What's sort of the recommendation in and around lion's mane?
So with any sort of botanical mushroom, you really want to be taking them regularly because that's how it stimulates the longevity. And with any sort of medicinal treatment, we're looking at 3 months before you really notice the effects. With lion's mane specifically, how it helps with brain health is that it stimulates something called nerve growth factor in the brain. So nerve growth factor increases the growth of neurons in the brain and therefore promoting long-term memory formation and then we use it in dementia prevention. So this is something you would actually be taking daily. And for something like Alzheimer's or dementia with the patients that I do see with that, then we're looking at these things for basically lifelong treatment options.
Okay. I want people to be able to find you at your clinic in BC. So where can they connect with you? And do you have social channels they can follow?
So the best way to find me is by my website, www.drpatriciawu.com. Otherwise, you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, incredible. And for anybody listening who is looking to find these mushroom supplements, you can find them by New Roots Herbal in natural food health stores across Canada. Just go in and ask for them by name: cordyceps, reishi, lion's mane, whatever it is you're looking for, they have it. Dr. Wu, thank you so much for joining me today.
And thank you for having me, Candace.